Hey Matt, how you doing? Yeah, sorry mate, I went to start my stream and realised I hadn't set it yesterday, so I just did it quickly. So yeah, that's probably why you're the only one there. So what are we looking at? So H, how you doing? Yeah, I only just noticed I hadn't set my stream. I went to select it and noticed there wasn't one there. So what are we looking at here at the moment? Not really much you can do here. We got a channel down, possibly a channel down with a break. It may come down and test the lows, but it could well just be a range bottoms, in which case it may push up. We'll soon see in a minute. If that triggers and pushes up, I'd say it's more likely to go higher. Trouble is, when you've got support like this, we got kind of a few bars here and here as well. It's hard to go short into that. It may come down, it may go up, but at the moment, I don't want to get involved. If you look here, there is a bearish bar there, which is triggered. So it's hard to say. It could go up and stop that out. It may come down. Looks like it's going up. So that is probably going to trap some traders thinking there may be a channel down there. Hey Sam, how you doing? So whether this is a channel or not, I don't know. It actually doesn't look too bad as kind of a two-tier channel. But kind of looks like a bit of a reversal here. So it's very tempting to take that. I'm just sitting tight a minute. I was very tempted to take that, but it's just something about it doesn't feel great. It looks like it's holding, but you never know. It's tempting. But I'm going to refrain. Something doesn't feel right. Trouble is, there's going to be liquidity here and here, so it may come down and retest this area. Yeah, I'm just not sure at the moment. Not only that, if there is a channel there, literally we've ticked it, we're right at the top, and that there is floating in the middle of this. So if this is a channel, it could quite easily come down there. That for me would be a risky trade if this channel's valid. I'm not super convinced it is, but now we've got two dojis, which is making that even more risky. So I will be thinking about getting out of that now if I could. But I don't think it's going to give you a chance. Yeah, I mean, it's super risky now. This is. I would be shocked if that doesn't get stopped out now. See, if this is a channel, we got a bit of vacant area down here, so I'll be amazed if that doesn't stop that out. Because if you can see prices following on this left chart along that line, so it makes perfect sense it comes down here. If it does get down here, it's going to pick off that bit of liquidity for that bar there. We may even get a break here and a retest of this. Hard to say at the moment. You just never quite know. And now we're seeing perfect sideways, perfectly stacked. So this is a definite no trading zone at the moment. I'm not saying it's not going to push up. It may do. Sometimes as we push up into it, we push up out the top of it. We kind of go up, across and up. But I think that's vulnerable. and it may come down and retest. So we'll see. It is quite relatively tight to that EMA. It's a bit tighter there, so it may hold, but my guess is it won't. Sometimes if it's a strong enough position, I do like the way on that left chart it's tight on that EMA, so it may hold. But it's not going up very steep, and that tells me there's not enough upwards momentum. So I'd say in that case, there's probably going to be more buyers down here. That to me is not a good place to buy there because it's just purely congested. So I'd say there's going to be more buyers down here, but you just never know. Let me just have a quick look at Bookmap. See what I'm seeing there. $750. There are orders at $750, which is below this. Yeah, so there are orders there at $750, which is below that and that. That bar's triggered, although it's a doji. So it may hold. If it gets above here, it may go, but I think it's risky. Especially with those buyers down there. You can see them. Can't see a bunch of buyers down there. It's not very large, that. So it may come down and clear out this, hit that first. So that's what would keep me out of that trade. Well, partly because I think that's vulnerable, partly because there's orders down here, and obviously third reason, purely and simply, it's congested. If it gets above here, it may hold and push up. It looks like it's going to, but trouble is you never quite know. What I will say is on that left chart, that big bullish bar there is very tight to that EMA, and price didn't get below it. You could see there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars there sitting above that EMA. So it's hard to say. So is it going to hold, or is we going to have a quick flush down? There's a large amount of sell orders. It's around the 13 level up here, around about that midline. So we've got 2 legs down. We may get 2 legs up. So it's a large amount of orders up there. You can see them there. 500 odd orders around about the 13. But there's buy orders at around about 10. So I have a feeling this may come back into this. You took it the 75s, but only for a point. Yeah. Trouble is, when it starts to go sideways, that the one thing going for it, there is, you know, there's clearly a slight upward momentum, but as we know, a lot of the time, if there's positions in there which aren't very strong, price will clear them out, pick up that liquidity before it pushes higher, which tells me there's going to be more buyers sat below there, and we can still see them. It's not a huge amount there, but there's 116 orders sat there at 750, which is right below all this. So in fact, yeah, it's right there. But the trouble is, if there's enough aggressive buyers, it may not get down that far, so it's hard to say. But for me, there's more buyers down here, so I think this would have to flush down, really. I think the bigger buyers will be down here. If you want to buy this going higher, you don't want to be buying right in the middle of this, do you? You want to be buying at the lows. And what better than below these 2 bars here, where we know there'll be liquidity. But having said that, it's just, you never quite know. But the thing I like about Bookmap is it does just give me areas of where I need to be cautious and not get in. So for me, it would have to break below there. If I was going to buy this market, which I'm not going to at the moment, it would have to be below there. Because it just looks to me like it's likely to hit that before it goes any higher. That's if it does go any higher. So I'm just going to put a quick line there. Once it gets below there, I would feel a lot more comfortable about going long. but you never know. The channel's fitting quite nice, so it may hold here, but my honest opinion is, see, a lot of those orders have been yanked. Once we get below there, I think we're golden. Okay, so it's got below there now, so looking at those orders are dying out a little bit now. There is still some a bit lower, so it may come. We may have a couple of legs down here in test, I don't know, but I would feel better now. The next bit of liquidity is down here, which I think is, I don't know. I'd say if this is a channel, I'd say it's unlikely going to come that low, but it may come down and try and retest this area. It's hard to say at the moment. So let me just shove that up there out of the way. So I think it's good bookmap, not necessarily to get into trades, but where to stay out of them. Because if we do see large orders down there, usually large orders mean big buyers, and big buyers, they're the kind of traders you want to follow, really. If I think there's big buyers down here below my entry, do they know better or do I know better? So my gut feeling is, looking at bookmap, it was going to clear this area. Not just bookmap anyway, I'd expect that to get, because to me, if I took a trade there, my honest thought would be that is vulnerable. So I don't know how far it went up. I'm guessing not a huge amount. So you'd have got a 1.5 out of that if you're lucky, depending how you got in. But if there is a channel there, we're going along right at the top of the channel. So now if this is a channel, we would have to get a higher low. So it has picked up a lot of those orders down there, which I'm guessing is why we've had a little move. There's still orders at 5 down here though, so it may come a bit lower. It's hard to know anyway, but I think this looks like a channel, but it's not very strong. So now I'm guessing Thomas Wade would be looking for a higher low here. Now, I'm not on his page, but that's the type of trade he looks for, so I'm just going to have a little look here. How's he got that? No, he hasn't got it as a channel. No. I thought he may have done. He still may have adjusted it. When was that? That was 3 minutes ago, but this is the type of thing he looks at. See, on this chart, if I look there, it actually looks like it's working up there quite nice. I can't see how that channel could possibly look any different, because it's touching perfectly up there, and the tops is not bad either. So we've had a little micro channel down there with a break and a new low. So if we can get a push above that EMA, we may get something long here. But the trouble is, it's not going up at any rate of knots. It's struggling to get up, which may mean we come down even lower and test this area again. It just doesn't look like there's strong enough buyers up there. And around about 13 or 14 up here, there looks like some strong sellers. It's around about 13, 13 and a half. So my guess is if it gets above there and gets close to that midline, those sell orders will pick up. That's if they're still there and they don't get yanked. So I think this may come down even more. So it's just not going up strong for me. I like it when it pulls back a little. Yeah, you do, yeah. You know, I do notice this stuff a bit more now, and it's not that often I say I think prices are going to come below this liquidity, and it doesn't. So my thought process in what I'm seeing is relatively accurate. I'm certainly comfortable about it, and it tells me that I've got a reasonable understanding of how prices working, and if you do that, it does give you that little bit more confidence and self-belief that you're making right decisions. Not taking a trade along here was a good decision to make, because my gut was it was gonna come down, which it did exactly what I expected. Now, what it does from now, obviously, is a different matter. I could, visualize those and think they're weak positions and they're likely to get stopped out. That's quite a strong buy off there. So that level may hold, but you don't know. We've got to pull down sideways. We may come down. But another reason that thinks it may come down, price maker and test is because it's not going up very strongly. That tells me there's not enough buyers in there. And there is a chunk of buyers around this bottom, possibly a bit lower, so it's hard to say. It's not super clear. Not a huge amount of price action overnight either. See if we have this little flush. Down, across and down. That's what I would suggest. Somewhere along those lines, which would clear out liquidity here. It may come down a bit lower. Once it gets down here, there are a few areas that it may push down. But down, across and down. That's what I think could happen. Does look like a bit of a spike and channel with a break and a new low. Let's have a little look. Still not ready to go long yet. I'd like this to come down to this measured leg. We've had a move down, 1, 2, 3, possibly a triple test. But if this is a channel, this is enough of a break to push up. But my gut feeling is, as it's triggered above that big bull bar there, I still think it's likely to come down. If it gets below here, I think it's got a good chance then of testing this bottom line. But ultimately, you never know. Okay, so this is Dan's chart. That's a bit different. He hasn't got that as a channel. It's hard to say. It looks a bit better on the left side. But I'm not sure, but he may adjust it. It's hard to say. He's got that as a spike and channel as well. It's a bit irrelevant now, but it's quite choppy today, to be honest with you, and there's quite a lot of chop. I think it's a bit irrelevant with that anyway. I've got rid of the color, which is so it's more of an area of interest. So my gut feeling now is it's going to get below here and come down and test this low. That's if it gets below there, I'm sure it will do. But as we know, we see this all the time, down, across and down, and obviously vice versa. Once we get below there, it'll get a bit easier, I think. So, book map. Orders at 05. There's 200 orders at 5, which is down here, below here. Pick up those. There is some at 500. Personally, I think that's a bit too low, but you never know. It might clear this out. That would be a channel up with 2 legs down. If it gets to here, then we may push up, because there is a bunch of orders. There's 700 orders around about the 13.5, 14, which is above this. So move up. 2 attempts to go lower. With a push up, we'd have to get down right down here though for me. Get a strong bounce off here. 1, 2, 3. That will be a triple test. Not only a triple test, a nice measured leg down. So move up, measured leg down. So if you can get a really strong bull bar off here, then I would have a go at that. To get below that big strong bull bar there, it should get a bit easier. That's if we do, of course. There we go. So, leg and a leg. Okay, right to that measured leg. I'd like it to go a little bit lower and then give us a nice strong bullish bar off here, and that would be 1, 2, 3, a nice triple test. See, there is a bunch of orders sat at 500 down here. I think it's going to struggle to get that low. I mean, I could be wrong. We could get a leg and a leg down, but the trouble is, as long as those orders are down there, it does make me nervous going long here. Nothing I can do here. Those orders are still there at 500. It's quite a distance down, that. So on this second chart, you could argue that's a triple test. And a bull bar with a strong move up. Let's see what happens here. That's quite strong. Okay, I can't see this coming back. Fine, that is. It was tempting, that, but my concern was seeing those orders down at 500. So I'd say for me, it's just really ranging at the moment, I think. We've got this move down with a break, and we've got one. That looks like two pushes down there and there. Leg and a leg. Bisco, how you doing, buddy? Is there any news coming up? This looks like news to me. Not him. It's gone black here. All the orders have been sucked away. That's why. Look at that. Everything's died off here. So we need a bearish bar up here. Just seeing how other traders are doing today. Wow, look at that. Wow. Looked like there was news all of a sudden. Somebody's speaking. Not that. Somebody's speaking. This has gone black. Usually does that when there's news. It started there and all of a sudden market started flicking out. Someone's talking somewhere. That's weird. I've not got it down anywhere. Strange, it's not on here, it's not on here. I've got no news here. Tuesday the 9th. There's no non-farm payroll here today. Not quite sure what's going on here. Tuesday the 9th. The only US news we've got there is already gone. There's that at 9:30. It's low impact news, so I'm not quite sure what's going on here. That's weird. Strong buying around here. That doesn't look too bad to buy. It's tempting. It's like a high or low. I've not got it on my news here. I've not got it on that news. Strange. Unfortunately, that's kind of, you can't really take that. It does look like it's pushing back up to the midline. trading economics. It's on the cal. I'm not sure what that is. Cal. Oh, calendar. Oh, it is. Strange. No one's mentioned it. Odd. That's why I have two on here, just in case. There's a higher low there, off the bottom. Hey Speedy, how you doing, pal? Excuse me, just a second. sorry about that. Okay, I looked at that one. It never triggered here. It triggered on that side, but I'd have preferred to wait for the lower high, and I'm glad I did. There is orders a bit higher above all this, so if we're ranging at the moment, this may be a fair break out of a range. See if we get a lower high here. So if this is a bit of a range, we had a little break out of it, didn't we? So I'm going to put that there like that. Bounce. It did look like, for me, it kind of looks like this, I think, at the moment. We're ranging between these areas. And we've had a little break there. So my guess is we'll probably have one this side here. So I'm going to stick my neck out and do something like that. That's where I expect price to get to. It's a bit. Fact, that might not be too bad, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'd say it's probably that I would have suggested. Taylor's just posted this 2 minutes ago, so he's got the same thing as me. Although he's got a little break at the bottom, I haven't. I don't think it matters too much. We've got 1 touch here, 2, 3 touches there, so I don't think there's any more if I take it to there. So if we go sideways here and then get a little breakout up here, we may get something down. Or it may just drop. It's hard to say, really. Feeling scared to... Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. It's quite messy today, isn't it? Excuse me. Okay, we're out the bottom now. There'll be liquidity down here, so there's orders down here. So if that range is from here and we've got a breakout, we may still get below these lows here. I'm looking up bookmap and there is a chunk of orders at 500. That's a bit further down from that, but it does look like we're trying to test these lows. Once it gets below there, it should get a bit easier. Okay, we're below there now, so Yeah, there's orders at 250 and 5, and there's orders at this line here and there, so that is off that bottom anyway, so you couldn't really get in there anywhere. It's just too risky, I think. So I still think there's a good chance it gets below here, and all of a sudden now some longs possibly trapped there. If we get below here, we should get a push down then. Or it could be a higher low, it's hard to say. Be the worst trade in the world to go. Hoping it ends rubbish. There's a higher low there. It has closed in the top third, but I just don't like it at the moment. It's not strong enough for me. And I can see there are orders here and here. So I'm just going to have to sit tight here. It's just congested on that side. As I say, there is a high low. It may work, but at the moment I'm just sort of sitting tight. I would expect this to push down below this level here. So we've got a channel down there with a break, 1, 2 pushes to a new low. I want to get to that 500 level really. That will clear out that little bit of liquidity and pick up some of those buy orders. So channel break, 1, 2 pushes to a new low. If we get below here, we may get there. We're only a point and a half below the lows of the day. So quick push. There we go. Beautiful. Right, now let's see if we can find something now. You could argue that's a fail breaker. Trouble is we could have a leg down, 3 attempts to go higher and a second leg down. But I wouldn't mind having a go at that. Maybe not. That would go down to 3 something. There is a measured leg there. It's tempting to go long there. It's not a huge risk. Little Hammer, how you doing, buddy? So, it does look like we could make this second leg. Now, there is going to be liquidity down here, so whether it comes down this far, it's hard to say. So we got this move down, and it does look like a leg and a leg. Yeah, 2 legs up and then down that second leg. So right down to that measured move. So, how much further could it go? Tempting, but I'm going to sit tight. I'll just be guessing it's going to turn there. If you get a higher low from here, then I'll have a go at that, but trouble is there is liquidity down here, so it could come down a little more. You can see it there and there. Let's put it there. So yesterday's, in fact, it's not yesterday's lows down here. It's dropped below there. I prefer it to drop below there. We have now, so see what happens now. Surely we're due back to that EMA now. There's a higher low there. It's only 2.25 points that EMA. I'm just not sure at the moment. Something larger there. I don't. To be fair. Does look like it might be starting to go sideways, so that's why I left that one. It's just hard to say at the moment. I'd just be guessing it's going to pull back there. No, I haven't got any payouts in August. I'm just building these accounts at the moment. So I'm guessing the end of the month, possibly the first week or two. If I play my cards right, my plan is to aim for $24,000 in about 6 weeks, something like that. If I just take it average, I'm just playing the game now. I'm not taking stupid risks, so fingers crossed. But no, I had nothing in July and nothing in August. I ended up blowing those accounts. I had one moment of weakness and they went. But I have things in place now. At the moment, I've got 12 accounts. I have things in place to lock my stop so I can't move a stop. And that's what I did before. I just had that little wobble, moved my stop once, panicked, moved it again, and you know the story. This looks like it's pushing up to that EMA to me. So I'm just playing the game now. I think that's holding. In fact, I'm pretty convinced it is. If it pushes above there, there's bound to be a little bit of liquidity there. So it would have worked. Trouble is, there's just not much in the way of points there. As you know, I go for 3 points, so a tick above. It's a 1.5 to get there. You don't know it's going to go higher, so I have to get out before there. Plan is to get 2,000 off each. Yeah, so my accounts at the moment, the largest one is just over 15, and the smallest one is 950. So I'm on my the 1,500 accounts. I'm trading one contract, so I need to get to 1,500. I need to make $1,500 more over the next 4 weeks. Well, if it takes 4 weeks or 6 weeks, but I tend to say I think I comfortably average at least $1,000 per month. So let's say it takes 6 weeks. I don't mind, to be honest with you. The trouble is, when you start with a PA account, you start at zero, and that's sometimes where you take a bit risk. So you start at zero. You've got to build it up typically to about 3,000 to start taking money. So once you've got that money in there, it's much easier to get a payment every month than 500, 1,000, 1,500, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? Well, it's funny you should say that, Brant. I've just seen this popped up, and I think that's what he's done. So I was just kind of going to have I think he has anyway. Yeah, it looks like it. So I was just going to have a little look. So yeah, the trouble is, now if I say realistically, I would comfortably make about $1,000 per month per account. That's only $250 a week. All you've got to do is trade in one contract. All you've got to do is win 2 clear trades a week. In fact, that'll give you over $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month. If you've got 20 accounts, that's $20,000 a month. You're in the realms of $250,000 a year. And if you can earn that money and build that money, then obviously you can have, you know, if you have 20 with Apex, you can have 5 with Traderify, which I've got. You can have 5 with My Funny Futures. And there's a bunch of them. So once you can comfortably make consistent small amounts of money, you can do it on a much larger scale and earn some serious money. So you don't have to do a huge amount. So from a whole week, I don't think it's too difficult to average 2 clear winning trades in a week. And 2 clear winning trades, taking away fees, are about $290. So, you know, over a month, you don't need to make a huge amount of money, but on multiple accounts, that's when you can significantly tip the balance in your favour. Okay, so we've broken below that level there. We didn't get below the lows I thought it was, and we've had a little double bottom there, so it's hard to say what we're going to do here. Maybe this is 2 attempts up, or maybe we're going to rock it up. It's hard to know. So, you know, it's important to remind yourself. I remember when I first started streaming, I thought if I can get around about $2,000 a week, I can make a lot of money. If I can get half of that over a month, you know, I think it's better to sort of go more realistic. I think the tendency is when you start trading, you hear all the stories about how much people are earning, and the tendency is to rush and take risks. And that's exactly what I did. And it's exactly what doesn't work. The only way to do it is to sit here patiently. If you see a trade, you take it. Nothing more, nothing less, and then you move on. You know, so many times I'd just take a risk and I'd double up and see if I could get a bit lucky. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. But you get away with it once or twice, but for the most, it just won't work. So the simple answer is small, little and often, you know, small amounts. You can only take what the market gives you, so I'm not a believer in financial targets. You know, I don't mind saying if you win 2 trades in a day, that's a target where you've maybe finished for the day or something like that. But, you know, aiming for a financial target, it's harder than it sounds, because, you know, if you're getting to the end of the day and you're trying to hit your target, all that will do is put you in the position to take more of a risky trade than you also, you know, you ordinary. You can only really make what the market's willing to give you, nothing more. But I don't think it's difficult to get around $250 per week off an account. Trading 1 contract, 2 contracts, 2 clear contracts. You've comfortably done that. So if this isn't a channel, maybe it is. But what I will say is we've had like a little double bottom there. So, you know, we've bounced off some support there. We have broken above that support, the high for the SA, so it may come a bit lower, but I'm not sure at the moment whether I think this is more likely to go up or down. What I am seeing on Bookmap, I'm seeing orders above and below. So it's hard to say. You know, there are orders, plenty of orders up here around, you know, this level, but there are orders around kind of 85. So, not sure how I feel about this. So we did have a channel down there with a break. We had 2 pushes down. It looked like 2 legs. So there is a possibility this could move up, but I'm just not really sure. I'm not going long or short at the moment. There is a big bull bar there, but you've got barely a point there. Now, is it going to break above there, that bearish bar? Quite possibly, but I really don't know. I would have said more likely than not to break above there. But who knows? It's in the midline. 2-tier larger down channel. When you say large down channel, are you on about something like that? Could be. It's just a bit too early, isn't it? I mean, if we bounce off here and then come back down to here, then it's probably going to be likely, but it's hard to say, really. I certainly wouldn't trade it based on that. We've pushed up. There may be a second entry long which pushes up. It's hard to say at the moment. Looks like a little double bottom there, so I'm just not sure. I mean, if that is valid, which it may be, then you'd probably expect it to come down. But we've got a channel here with a break. We haven't made a new high. My gut feeling is we may have a little push here and trap a few shorts. That's just an educated guess based on what I'm seeing, but I really don't know, to be honest with you. We may be getting a little micro channel here, so if we get 3 red bars, then it may crawl down. But I have a sneaking feeling this is going to end up bullish and push above here, which may take us. It depends. Which may take us above the midline on that possible bigger channel. So we got a leg up there and a couple of attempts to push back. So there's a little bull bar here. So it is a second entry long. We do it all the time. We go up, across, and up. I don't think it's the worst trade in the world going along there, you know. But I'm not taking a trade here because I'm a little bit unsure what I think. But I actually think that would probably work. We go up. It is a second entry long, but at the moment I'm not sure whether I think this is a channel where we've had a break, 2 pushes to a new low and we're going up, or what. So you just don't know, but it's hard to say. Trouble is it's triggered it. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. See, at the moment, if that does push above there, it will push above a potential midline. So I don't know how I feel about things at the moment. It's not the easiest of trading days, is it? Taylor's saying fail second entry long. I don't think so. I think there's going to be bears and bears. Now we've got a channel down there. We've got a break. There's 2 bear bars there, and I think with this big channel down, we'd have more than that and a drop. I think 2 legs up. Now, whether this second leg will go higher, but my gut feeling is it's going to break above these 2 bars here. So thinking about going short at the moment. It's not for me. So yeah, so that's what I kind of expected. So quite lightly trap some shorts there. That's why I thought it would push up, because if that is a channel, it's a reasonable sized channel. I'd expect more than just that and then down. So whether we get 2 legs up. So I think already, if there is a bigger channel, it's pushed above that midline. If we can get a measured leg here, I wouldn't mind taking a short there. We often see that push up, 2 legs down, push up. If we can get a measured move here, in fact, I'm going to get a short order just in case. Order submitted. That's the type of trade that usually works. If we can get a measured leg, which the beauty is as well, close to there would test the bottom of this. So 2 legs up, close to that wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, if I keep that tight, I can pull that back a little bit. Drop that a bit. So we're more or less in that ballpark, leg and a leg. So channel down with a break, 2 attempts to push higher. So another couple of points, and there is a bunch of sell orders, 2.5, which I would have suggested is around about there, funnily enough, right at that measured move. So you can see these orders there, 2.5, right at the measured move, and testing this. So that is interesting. So a leg and a leg. Trouble is, you don't know whether it's just going to drop. Okay, so that's picked off them orders now. If we get a strong bear bar now, doesn't look like it.
Order cancelled.
Just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a second. So we are testing the right area, but it's not what we want to see really. We want a lower high really before that EMA, which I don't think we're going to get. I think it's probably just going to continue down. So channel down, leg up with a correction and a leg up. So that looks all right. I'd have just preferred to see this look a little bit different. I think this is probably likely going to come down and just give us no entries, unfortunately. kind of a penguin style trade. Now, sometimes he'll take it up there and put his stop a bit higher. Other times he'll wait for it to push below that EMA. But it doesn't look like it's pushing down very strongly. So it's hard to say at the moment. Ooh, quick little spike up there. That's interesting. A little. What is making that flick around again? Something's happening again. So a lower high here might not be a bad option. Not sure why that flicked up. It just may have been a little bit of volatility. I'm just looking here. The good thing about Bookmap is a good indication if there's news, because all this starts to black. People start yanking orders. Like it did, I noticed it was going black, and that's what made me think, is there some news? And all of a sudden we started bouncing around. So it's quite a good visual indicator that something's going on by those orders start to die out. So if we can get a lower high down here, I wouldn't mind having a go at that. Or a triple test or something. See, there is a lower high there. Trouble is, we've got to move up with 2 legs back. So I couldn't take it at the moment. 2 little pullbacks. You just don't know whether it's going to make a third attempt and possibly do this, or it may just drop. It's hard to say at the moment. Oh, someone said they took the lower high. I think that's a bit early. We've got 2 legs up and we've got possibly a little correction here, so that may go up for a third time. So I think that lower high, just at the moment, is a bit risky. We're falling on a little bit of support possibly here. It may work, but if that ends up bullish, 2 legs back, my guess is that trade there, it's not far to take that out. There's orders at 2.5, which is above that. Or it may be a long failure and it may work. My gut feeling is with support there, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars on support there. So is it likely to break above there? It's a tough one. But if you took that one, you're likely going to get stopped out. So maybe it drops down. The trouble is, taking a failure that's already stopped that bar out, there's no more liquidity to down here, so I wouldn't want to take that either. Okay, so if you took that there, you got triggered and stopped out. Now that's cleared any liquidity. Now has this thing got the legs to push down? I'm not so sure. So I would like to push down below this support and then have 2 attempts to push higher and get a second entry short at this support. This just isn't pushing down strong enough for me. There's still a chunk of orders at 2.5, which is above there. Okay, we do seem to have this little channel here now. I'd like to see a little pullback now. The next bit of liquidity really is down here. It's better on here. There was a second entry long here, so we got a leg and a leg on this second chart. So I think it's going to take a bit getting down there. I don't think there's a bigger channel. Maybe. Not so sure. That to me is just 2 legs up. You got a leg up with a nice little correction and a leg up, and then a retest with a little double top. It kind of makes sense that this starts to fall away. I was hoping we get a triple test, but we didn't. We got a lower high. I didn't like the lower high because of 2 little legs. You don't know whether it's going to trigger that, pop back up for a third test, and then possibly down. But this to me looks like it's going down to test these levels. So hopefully now we're at the bottom of this channel, we get a little pullback here. Sometimes if it's quite, what I feel, if it's quite obvious where price is going, you don't really get much in the way of a pullback. If this is pushing down and it's really obvious where it's going, I suppose traders may hold on to trades a little bit longer, which may, you know, as opposed to taking profits here, creating that little bit of a pullback, and then maybe more traders then get back in for the second leg down to clear these lows. So if I do that, measured leg from here, we'd have to go down a little bit lower. That would be a bit better. And then maybe up to support here. That would get us close to here. I still prefer to come down a little bit lower. So there is short orders at 500, which is right at that line there, which is right at support. So a couple of a bit of a pullback here. See those orders there sat at 500 to go short. And that's the kind of like the perfect place really. We've got a leg down. If we can get a little pullback and then get in on the action there for that second leg down close to these lows, then so 2 little legs really.
Order submitted.
Yeah, we've bounced off there, haven't we? So I'd say there's a fair chance this could go up. What is it going to do in the meantime? We've had this channel down there with a couple of legs up, a retest and a drop, and we look like we're having another test of it. Could be a triple test. It's hard to say, really, whether we're going to bounce off here and then come back down. So it's possibly a small little micro with a break, or we could be having a break now. It's hard to tell, really. Channel break, new high. Possible triple test.
Order cancelled.
Let me see if we can get something bearish here. Might have a more exciting stream today if you moved outside and started commenting on the grass growing. Yeah, it's not the most exciting days, is it? Hoping we get a push above this and then some sellers come in. It's so low as well, isn't it? Well, NFP. Yeah, see, we had a bit of flicking around. I had nothing on my charts about the NFP today on either of them for some reason, but we were flickering around at some point and someone said NFP, but I looked on Forex Factory and I saw nothing, so I don't know what it was. 2 p.m. revision. I'm looking for a triple test up here. This just isn't good enough. It's just too congested. I want it to break this ideally. So I suppose you consider that the overnight lows. Which were kind of, that's enough. Yeah, trouble is sometimes it just goes. Unfortunately, there's no real setup there. It's just congested. It's not great just to go short there, really. You want ideally a push above this, or I certainly would, and then all of a sudden a nice big strong bearish bar. We may get one yet. See, looking at bookmap, there's a bunch of orders at 5, which is up here, which I'd say is a bit high, but we could have 2 little measured legs up there, which could probably take us to around about that area. Yeah, so with a break, 2 pushes. I don't know. I'm just call it an educated guess. But I don't mind it. I prefer to break it above there, really, just to clear out any liquidity. And then I'd like to see some strong selling. Whether we get it or not, who knows? But we've had this big move down, a couple of legs up, one more attempt to go higher, and another attempt to go higher. If we can get some strong sellers in here, then hopefully this thing then would come down, certainly to here, but hopefully here and test those lows. So we're above all this, so that's something. Now, it may just take off, it's hard to say. Okay, those orders were at 2.5, which is kind of hitting there now. Let's see what happens, see if we get any reaction. I think it's gone a bit too far for me. Okay, I am just going to go and make myself a quick cup of coffee. I've been trading now for 2 hours, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm not seeing any rejection, which is what I would want to see. I'm just going to give it a minute because we're going a bit sideways. So if we get something, maybe if we get a lower high from here, but we got a channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new high. So I'm just going to give it a few minutes. I wouldn't just take that one. I'd want to see something a bit stronger than that. That's just, it's nothing too exciting, really. See what happens if we get up here. Third bounce. It's hard to say if this is starting to go a little bit too far for me now. I was hoping to see a reaction once we broke above there, and we didn't really get one, did we? So I mean, what I will say is we got a little double bounce there, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the lows of the day there. We had 2 nice little bounce and a push up strong, so we got a leg up with this pullback. We may get another leg up, so I wouldn't be shocked if this thing continued higher. And really, kind of at the moment, most of yesterday and today, really, this just may be an overall big range, so good time for me to go and make a cup of coffee, I think. But is it going to come down? I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I'd have expected to see some sort of reaction there. And we didn't really get one, did we? So I am just going to take a quick 5 minutes, make myself a nice coffee, and I will be back. there is a failure there, but I kind of got to it a bit late, really, to analyse it properly. But it is working, isn't it? It's just one of those things, isn't it? Maybe we test this. We'll see. Yeah, I'd have been out now. Well, it's one of them things. Just got back a little bit too late, really. You're late today. You are late. You're usually first here, aren't you? I've taken nothing. I literally made a coffee and something to eat, and I came back to the chart, and that was just kind of working. I ummed and ahed about it, but because I haven't really sat and watched it and looked at it, I left it alone and it worked. But it's just one of those things. I don't mind missing stuff, rather than jump in without. I'm trying to be less impulsive. It's one of the problems I had, that I got in a little bit too impulsive at times, and I needed a little bit of time just to have a quick look at that, and I left it, and it did work, but you don't know it at the time, so I don't mind. It doesn't bother me missing stuff. Thomas Wade never took it. get a little second entry short up here somewhere. The Apple event, isn't it, today? I think it's 1 PM Eastern time. Find out what new Apple products will be launched. I'm looking at an Apple Watch, I think. There's some new Apple phones, some new iPhones coming out, some new Apple Watches, I think. Watch 11, I think, and the Ultra 3, I think, are coming out today. I think it's sure it's 1 o'clock Eastern time, so in about an hour and a quarter. Okay, so Apple Watch. I'm eating just Mexican rice with a little bit of. I've not eaten. I had some blueberries and a few walnuts this morning, so I've not eaten. I'm just, your stomach's a bit growly, so I've just got a bit of Mexican rice with a bit of sweet and sour sauce, a bit of sweet chili sauce. I use Samsung. Yeah, my wife's Samsung. I used to. I can't remember the last. You're not a fan of them? No. I did look at. I considered the Fold, the iPhone. Is it the Z Fold or the Z7? Something like that. I looked at that, but I don't know. I'm just used to Apple now. I've had Apple for a while. I went Apple initially. I think I had the Apple 11 going back some years, and then I moved over then to Samsung for a year and just didn't like it. Went back to Apple and been with Apple ever since. It's a couple of years old now. This is, I think it's a 14 plus. I think it's a 14 plus. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know, something about Samsung I'm not a fan of anymore. I don't doubt they're great phones. But we had it's only, to be honest with you, when I built this PC 4 years ago, we'd had Apple PCs for our computers for a while. We still got 2 old MacBook Pros around, or had a Mac Mini in the kitchen, which we kind of use them. I just got fed up with PC always crashing. So I think for probably 10 years we had Mac. They were just much more stable than PC. And then, obviously with the software in trading, they're more favourable to PC. And I've got to say, I don't think this computer's crashed. May have crashed once in 4 years since I've had it. So I've got to say it's been brilliant. So PC really upped the game over the last sort of 10, 12 years. But all I remember from PC before I went to Mac was just constantly crashing. It was a pain in the arse. But I am looking at building a new computer soon. I'm just waiting for the next kind of deal they have on Amazon. But I'm just upgrading a bit. As I say, I've had this 4 years now, so it's not as quick as it was. I think you're lucky in the US. Things are so much cheaper in the US. I bought a Vitamix. Now I know they're made in the US. I bought a Vitamix probably 4.5, 5 years ago. It cost me £500. Same Vitamix in the US, $299. So less than half price. See Nvidia as well. The graphics cards so much more expensive in the UK than they are in the US. I mean, I've been looking at the Ryzen 9. I think it's 9950 X something or other. I think it's $400 odd in the US, £599 in the UK. Crazy how much stuff there is over here. This is interesting. Two little push up. I know we've had a small new low there, but I'm not too fussed about that. If we can get a decent bear bar up here, I think there's a chance this comes down. I would not be thinking about buying there, so I think that's vulnerable. So, but for me, we need to push up a little bit more. I'd want to go up just a little bit more. I'm just going to get an order just in case.
Order submitted.
I don't even think there's anything larger there. It's hard to say. I don't think so. I know Thomas Wade has got that, I think. Tell a lie, it's a bit tighter. We'll have to get some reaction here. It's not the easiest price action. It's not the easiest to read today, in all honesty. It's quite messy.
Order cancelled.
Not an easy day today. So I'm going to get rid of that. So I think we've just had a little micro with a break at a new low there. Can't see anything. Anything like that. Just not sure what's going on here, really. It's just up and down and a little bit of that. I don't know how I feel at the moment. It's possible. Taylor's got that as well, so It's not an easy day today. In all fairness, I don't think I've seen a trade that I wished I'd have taken. I just haven't seen one today. What I will say is I like that double bounce there, and I still think there's a good chance that's a low of the day, which likely means this thing's going to continue higher now. We may get a pullback before it does, but I think we'll likely target the highs of the day. It's a significant 2 bounces with a big strong move up. So yeah, my guess is we won't revisit this now today. We've had 2 bounces, 2 legs up. We've pulled back to this level, and it does look like it's continuing up. It's not going up at any rate of knots, so it's just not easy to trade today, in all fairness. Would you say possible triple test? Trouble is, if there is a channel up here, any shorts in an uptrend often just get triggered and stopped out. Whether it will or not, I don't know, because there is an element of sideways as well. He's had a hard day today. I had a look earlier. I had a look at, I've started having a look at, what's his name? Who's the guy? I can't remember. I had a look at him earlier. What's he called? Oh, Trader Joe or something. I had a look at his chart, and then something happened, and I moved away. So let's have a look. Nutty. Oh, okay. He's finished his stream. It starts at the beginning. He's done okay. He's up a bit, isn't he? He's up. He's done all right today, hasn't he? You mean Nutty or the other guy, Alpine? Oh, he's not traded today, Alpine. Oh, was he? Oh, I didn't notice. Oh, I see. Yeah, of course. The My Fun of Futures ones. Yeah. Yeah. He does go through a lot of accounts. Actually, look more than me, which is unusual. Marco took a short here. Triple test. I wasn't sure, actually, because there may be something like this, so... Sure about that. I think that's more sideways personally. So choppy, yeah, it is today, mate. It's not an easy read today. I think I can comfortably say I haven't seen a trade that I think was a really good one. That's possibility. Trouble is, it's a bit choppy. And if this is a channel, after 2 pushes up and a retest, I expected this to come down, which it didn't. So I was just concerned we are pushing up. And then when we came back to the EMA, you just never quite know whether it's going to go a bit higher. So I left that one. I know Marco took that one. I'm just not sure at the moment. Now when I trade, I either like it and I jump straight in, or I don't. I kind of have this. I like it without hesitation. And other times I'm not sure. So when I'm not sure, I usually leave it. And it's just finding a kind of a way that works for me. I don't bother counting legs. It's more like how it looks. It's the overall picture, really. It doesn't really matter whether it's a second entry or something. You know, obviously Mac had that second entries. Then he called them a hidden second entry because it looks like a second entry. It's got that same moves up, but it just didn't trigger tick before. It doesn't mean you can't take it. So I think it's way more now what it looks like rather than does it. You know, is it a perfect count? That doesn't really bother me so much now. Thomas Wade's posted that as well, so yeah, kind of looks the same, doesn't it? Okay, what is going on here? So we've got a little channel with a break down here. Hmm. Hmm. I just wondered 2 legs, is this going to pull back down? It's hard to say, but I'm just not convinced of that channel. It may be, it's so broad and it's not going up very steep, so yeah, I'm just not I'm not feeling it. It may well be, certainly worth paying attention to, but I think it's more sideways personally. But we're not getting any reaction here. We're certainly not getting any kind of rejection at the top. I would prefer to go a tiny touch higher. What I will say is there are a chunk of short orders at 750, which is just below the midline there. If we push up there, touch them short orders, and then come back and close here, we've got kind of a nice measured leg there. So is this going to come down? I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's not the easiest day today. It's, you know, it's pretty messy. It's pretty choppy. There's just not in the way, you know. There isn't a trade. Usually there's something I've seen that I think, yeah, that it's a good setup. At the time wasn't super clear, but I can't even see that at the moment. I'd ideally like to just touch that or just below there. If we can hit them short orders there might be traders up here selling to get to push this back down. So I'd just like to see if we get any kind of rejection off here. So there's the measured move. Let's see if we get any reaction. I would prefer just to clip under that measured move. I'd like to go up another tick or two and then see if we get a reaction. Okay, that's what I wanted. Now let's see what happens.
Order submitted.
It's probably going to have to be a lower high, I think.
Order cancelled.
Oh, that's frustrating. Only worked. I might have to go back to a dark screen again. I keep getting headaches. Keep getting patches in front of my eyes. Kind of from a mild migraine. It might just be staring at these white charts. I've got it now. I had it a couple of days ago. So I might go back to dark, see if it makes any difference. Okay, so I'm done. I think today I've done about 4 hours. I've streamed for 3 and done about 4 hours. So I'm going to go and have some dinner now. You have Dart now, yeah. You know when you get a migraine, I get migraines now and again, but without the headache, I get that patchy feeling. Sometimes I can't, if I put my finger, but it starts where I get some patchy pictures, and I've just had it a couple of times recently, and I'm just not sure whether it's because I can't see how staring at white screens is really good for you. So I might have to go back to a darker screen and just see if it makes any difference. But there you go. So I'm going to leave you guys to it anyway. Best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Not the easiest of days today. It's basically just ranging, I think, isn't it? Your eyes hurt today. Yeah. So I don't think it makes sense darken it because I've got two really wide 234-inch screens, those widescreen ones, and they're both white. So it's quite bright, isn't it? So I'm going to leave you guys to it anyway. Best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, have a great evening, stay safe, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.